An ideal environment is a place where technology and nature can coexist without compromise.
It's when I wake up and hear the birds chirping, feel the fresh breeze of air, and glare of sun beaming through my window.
Where air has that subtle, fresh fragrance, and sources of water are healthy enough to be drank raw like old times.
It is where people are ensured that they will be comfortable and safe. A place that is sustainable and clean that will stand the test of time for generations to come.
Where people are mindful of others on how they consume and how their present decisions create ripple effects.
But what is reality?
Kung ikukumpara ko siya sa mga nagdaang taon, yung mga kino-cover ko rin ay mga disasters, hindi kasing dami.
Hindi namin nakalain na pagdating ng buwan ng Setyembre, magkakasunod-sunod na.
Nakataas sa red alert ang mga disaster management agencies sa bansa. Sa harap ito ng inaasahang pananalasa ng bagyong may international name na Mangkut at tatawaging bagyong Ompong.
So noong unang narinig yung salitang bagyong Ompong sa newsroom, parang marami yung kinabahan dahil ang balita ito rin pinakamalakas na bagyo na tatama sa Pilipinas ngayong taon.
Malawak ang pinsalang dinulot ng pagsabog ng Bulkang Taal nitong nakaraang ika-12 ng Enero sa mga bayan ng Batangas. Marami ang lumikas at nanatili sa mga evacuation centers. Milyong pisong halaga ng pinsala sa mga ari-arian, kabuhayan at infrastruktura ang ngayon nakaukit na sa kasaysayan ng bansa. Kasaysayan na makailang ulit na ring naitala ang pinsalang dulot ng Bulkang Taal.
Tornado hitting Florida, slamming the Gulf Coast.
2020 shattering records around the world for some of the wildest weather ever recorded.
Deadly wildfires raging up and down the West Coast.
Go, go, go!
More than 10 million acres charred, mostly in California, Colorado, and the Pacific Northwest.
What's happening with fires in the West right now is exactly what has been predicted with climate change.
Are we in control of these disasters?
The National Risk Reduction and Management Council has advised local governments located in the eastern seaboard of the country to prepare for Typhoon Rolly as early as now.
A lot of us may be guilty of having fun during earthquake drills and dozing off during disaster preparedness seminars. But did you know that its incorporation into our student lives is no mere coincidence? The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or the NDRRMC, is a collaborative network of several government, non-government, civil, and private organizations of the Philippines. Its main goal and responsibility is to ensure the protection of its constituents, the Filipino people, by managing the risks associated with several types of disasters, calamities, and emergencies that may strike the nation.
A magnitude 6.5 earthquake has struck the central Philippines, killing one person and injuring dozens more. A family in Masbate province were left trapped when their house collapsed. There's no threat of a tsunami, but authorities are warning people to prepare for aftershocks.
Talking of disaster management is complex. There are many things to account for. Among many, the key fronts organized by this council includes communication system, such as dissemination of warning signals, logistical allocation, such as evacuation, transport, and rescue operations, infrastructure management, as in engineering, health, and area rehabilitations, and most notably, public service, as evident in the firefighting, police, and educational sectors rooted mainly at the local levels. The main reasoning behind these practices is because the NDRRMC utilizes the UN cluster approach in disaster management. Its three pillars are upheld by humanitarian principles, principles of partnership, and ultimately accountability to and for affected populations. What this simply says is that disaster preparedness is best built from the ground up, fostered from collaboration with the relevant communities, and therein standardized and scaled up across the nation.
Wala silang alam kung paano mag-evacuate, kung saan sila makakapunta sa mga safe na lugar.
Nung na-introduce yung project ng Ascend, medyo doon kami nagkaroon ng mga idea na lalo yung participatory.
Hence, most of us regardless of location, have been informed one way or another of familiar practices such as duck, cover, and hold, and that of storm signal levels. It's long been established that the Philippines is a hotbed of calamities, yet until today, calamity continues to take its toll on both our economy and citizenry. Indeed, disaster preparedness is a complex mix of culture, action, policies, and inevitably politics. A popular saying spouts that when there is development, there is disaster. No doubt, the presence or absence of developments, governance, income, foresight, and above all, cooperation shapes the hazards that an area might face. Risk reduction is everyone's business, so let's start ours now.
Every morning, Rodoy's son checks his fish pen. He's been a fisherman almost all of his life and has recently moved to Manila. Fishing has always been difficult in the provinces, but he says it's far more challenging in the capital.
But applying all these environmental protection and disaster risk reduction management concepts and practices is easier said than done.
Maghintay lang kayo ng konting panahon. Minuto-minuto lang naman yan eh. Yung hindi pa nakuha sa bahay nila, maybe it's still early 1 o'clock.
The true problem in the present is our systems and the forces that administer these systems meant to manage safety, efficiency, and awareness, among other necessities. Responsibilities aren't upheld by the citizens, who should realize the bigger picture, and the law enforcers, who should know better yet are too incompetent, lazy, or simply ignorant. Let's not forget side problems such as accessibility, language barriers, and questionable information and its dissemination, assuming they even reach the people who need it most. As humans who live on the earth and will perpetually rely on it, what are we doing to preserve and protect the planet? Presidential Decree 705, or the Revised Forestry Code of the Philippines, RA 9147, or Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act, RA 7586, or National Integrated Protected Areas System Act of 1992, all aim to protect forests and sanctuaries, shelter the animals and species that inhabit those areas, and enrich biodiversity. Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, or RA 9003, along with Toxic Substances and Hazardous and Nuclear Waste Control Act of 1990, or RA 6969, encourages proper waste disposal and waste segregation in order to combat health hazards that are dangerous to people and the environment. To conserve water resources, guarantee water sanitation, safeguard marine life, the Water Code of the Philippines, or PD 1067, and the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, or RA 9275, were issued. Other laws established are the RA 8749, or Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, aims to improve air quality. RA 7638 created the Department of Energy that intends to make the country self-reliant on energy. And RA 7942, or the Mining Act of 1995, which finds a system to explore, develop, utilize, and conserve mineral resources. Moreover, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, established through Executive Order Number 192, Series 1987, is the primary agency in the Philippines which mandates the protection of the environment and sustainability of natural resources. It spearheads several programs and services such as environmental management, mines and geosciences, forest management, biodiversity management, and land management.
Iba na talaga kang dati. Arami na kung paano kami maglikas. Arami na kung ano ang samuyang dadarahon sa evacuation.
On the other hand, National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management, or NDRRMC, is an agency that was established by Republic Act 10121 of 2009 to ensure the safety and welfare of the people during disasters and to provide assistance during emergencies. It is administered by the Office of Civil Defense under the Department of National Defense. NDRRMC is in charge of monitoring and disseminating information about weather situations, flood advisories, dam situations, earthquake and tsunami, volcanic advisory, and even coronavirus disease 2019. Aside from the national level agencies, it is also important for the community to partake and make a move on their own, raising awareness, engaging in different activities such as tree planting and cleanup drives, following rules and regulations, and obtaining permits for health compliance are simple ways to help sustain our natural resources. In addition, identifying risks, hazard mapping, contingency planning, and participating in drills are primary examples of disaster risk and reduction management.
We can achieve a livable environment by promoting sustainability, reducing our personal wastes, and educating others on how to make this world a better place.
You can hop into the trend of starting your own vegetable garden or try out a new hobby and upcycle, repurpose, and repair.
By supporting sustainable fashion, organic produce, and by avoiding the purchase of single-use plastic materials.
By backing our words with actions. Even one little planted tree now can make a difference later.
As simple as practicing sustainable living and waste reduction at home, and educating ourselves and others about how our choices affect the future, we can truly build a generation championing for the environment and for the people.